Boystorm Podcast.
Boystorm Podcast changed my life.
Oh, yeah, I love Boystorm.
Man, dude, I gotta edit all your bullshit out. God damn it. It's like having a dog on the podcast, having Kyler on the podcast. All right, we're back. We got Kyler. We unsilenced his mic because he was done saying slurs for a minute. So that'll be the edit you see on YouTube. You go, why was he off? Because he was saying slurs.
Whole
probably.
time.
There they are.
The
No,
kid
that
is
actually
back.
wasn't.
Shall we?
Oh
Oh.
no!
What?
A
Don't-
pocket full of Werthers.
Can we blur that?
What hole that come out of?
You got some. You got some prune
Front
juice
hole.
in there too. You say the front?
That's crazy.
Yo, how funny was it when you were a little kid? Speaking of it being the front hole, you're little and you're starting to, sex becomes a thing, and you're doing it. And when you
Wait a
first
second.
go down,
What age is this? I need you to define.
Yeah.
I'm getting lost in these descriptions.
you're a little kid. You're not a little, whatever, 14, 15.
Okay,
That's little.
Yes.
Young kid, sex becomes a thing, and it's like there's no rule book. And then you go down there, the front hole, as you so poetically put it,
Yeah.
not really in the front.
Name of this episode, probably.
No.
You would expect
No.
it to be.
It's
Right.
kind of up.
Yeah, it's more like backing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like back and then up.
Yeah.
It's more like under.
It's kind of under.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's under, I think.
In between.
To be like, I think.
In
it's so-
betwixt.
like, I'm
Betwixt.
Betwixt your legs.
Dude, I ain't had a Twix in so long, dude. God. I don't even know what words y'all said, but fuck, Twix got me.
What do you... Go ahead,
I
Lynn.
was going to say, do you eat the caramel and chocolate off the top first? And
No. I shoved the whole thing down my throat.
Yeah, just full gullet.
Got.
I do that.
Yeah, who's breaking down Twix into
I break down a Twix.
process?
I break down a Twix. I used to... do you remember Paydays?
Oh, my God.
I never had them, but I
Favorite.
got peanuts or something in them,
Those are
right?
my
Loved a
favorite.
peanut. I loved a Payday, and you pick off all the peanuts, and then you're just left with a big old bar of nougat.
Nougat.
You ever had the
Yeah.
chocolate-covered paydays? They're new.
What's that called?
Chocolate-covered Payday?
That's what they're called. They're called payday with chocolate.
But isn't that called something? Baby Ruth?
I don't know.
Hey, that is a baby
I
Ruth.
just keep waiting for a racist end to this joke.
No,
What's a payday with chocolate?
No, it's just a
I'm
chocolate
just
thing.
waiting for.
When I was a kid, so I never had a payday until I was like 8. My uncle, we went to the zoo. He had just gotten out of jail. And
Every story of your life sounds like a Mad Lib.
my uncle Jimmy, rest in peace, took me to the zoo. It was just me and him, and we went to Kroger's first, Kroger's in Antioch, and he stole a bunch of bananas and paydays. We didn't buy them.
He's like, I want to go back.
Then we went to the zoo, and we would take the bananas and throw them at the monkeys. The monkeys are the first thing you see when you walk to the National Zoo. So we were throwing the bananas at the monkey. And, man, Uncle Jimmy had an arm on him, dude. He was getting them to him. And then we took the paydays to the those little
Elephant?
meerkats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is before the meerkats were covered at the Nashville Zoo. We would break open paydays and break them and give them to the meerkats.
Y'all are why the meerkats are covered at the
Probably.
You guys are why.
Yeah, man, that was sick. He
That's
had these big
wild.
cargo shorts, and they were just his pockets were stuffed with bananas.
Did he drive you around?
Like to get to the zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he drove.
What kind of vehicle did he have?
It was just my grandma's old beat up car.
She was
Wasn't-
asleep. He took the car. He goes, we're going to the zoo.
A funny.
Yeah, we're out.
We were talking about OCD the other day. OCD moment I had is after the zoo when we were leaving, we went to the gift shop and I saw this stuffed animal that I really liked, and I was like, "Oh man, I'd love to have this." You know, as a kid, you're like, "This would be cool, right?"
Yeah.
And my uncle just got out. He didn't have any fucking money. He stole it. He stole it for me.
you.
That's
But I
kinda
didn't
nice.
know until we got back home. He's like, "Hey, check that out." And I feel bad now as an adult, but I was so ungrateful. I was like, "Wait, did you steal this?" And he was like, "I got it."
Yeah. Don't worry about
And
how I
was like,
got it. You
and-
got it.
And it like in my head, I was like, "Oh, you're gonna go to hell for fucking keeping a stolen African wild dog animal."
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
So my grandma and I took it back.
No,
I would have had to, too.
We took it back.
Damn.
I got
My
caught.
grandma
stealing.
was pissed at me, dude. She was in the car. She was like, "You're an ungrateful little brat."
That's
Oh,
crazy.
to you?
But you didn't do
pissed
it.
that you felt bad about receiving stolen property?
Well, pissed that I like. She was mad at me for not being happy.
She was like, my grandson's a ungrateful snitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, pretty
fair, he
much,
called it
dude.
out.
Yeah.
She's like, "This fucking loser."
Wow.
My mom loved, she was a big arts and crafts mom, so we spent a lot of time at Michael's. searching for like puff paints and stuff like that. And I took it was around Christmas, and I took a liking to this pine cone, gold pine cone, had feathers glued to it and stuff. I just loved it so much, and I stole it from Michael's. And then in the back seat, I was like in a car seat, so I was little.
Whoa.
And my mom looks in the back, and I've got my golden pine cone out, and I'm playing with it, and it's so pretty. And dude, she hit the brakes and just ripped a U-turn, made me go back into Michael's.
I love it.
Walk in, she just stood behind me. I just walk up to the cash register. She didn't give me a script or anything. She was like, "You're gonna riff this apology."
You're like,
So
I'm
just standing there, and I start crying, and they're,
Yeah.
yeah.
How old were you?
Like 4.
Oh, I have a similar story, but I was way older.
Yeah, I was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of got sticky fingers.
Yeah.
I haven't done it in ages, but yeah, shoplifting just used to be so easy.
I attempted to steal Mortal Kombat. I was hanging out with this kid who was like,
oh wow, that's a heist.
yeah,
That's
well,
hard. A video game is tough. That's no golden pine.
Well, I
cone.
didn't have a great plan.
Yeah.
I took it in the bathroom and just tried to open it, and then a guy came out and was like, "Hey, there's a fat kid stealing in there." And then, dude, I remember this guy came in, and it was like a movie where the guy who caught us, the assistant manager at Best Buy, he had the thing the Breaking Bad kid had, like braces.
Oh yeah. for
So
sure.
I was like, I could probably book it.
I can outwalk. This
Yeah,
guy.
but he was like, he acted like he had caught Al Capone. He was like, "It ends today, bitch." We were like, "What?" Like, this is the first time I stole anything. And then I was like maybe a half a mile from my house, and my dad is the biggest like drama queen in the world. They drove me back to my house in like a police car, but like in the front seat. I wasn't like under arrest. And they were like, "Yeah, he's got to go to teen court." And my dad was like weeping and was like, "If you got to take him to jail, you can." And they were like, "Yeah, he's 13, and this costs $30, so we don't have to do literally any of that."
It's not that big a deal. We've
And then-
kind of scared him enough already, which is all we needed to do.
Fully crying. And then I had to go to teen court, and I don't know, does teen court exist anywhere else? Do you guys know what that is?
Awesome.
Dude,
Teen court sounds great.
It's insane.
Sounds
Teen
like
court
a TV show.
is you go to court, but every role in a court is played by a kid except for the judge.
Is that for real?
I swear to God.
That's great.
So you get arrested, and then you go to jail, and then another kid who got arrested a week earlier goes like, "I don't think he's that guilty." Like, it's insane.
Oh, like a teen lawyer.
And then you have to, you have to be the lawyer, and then you have to be the jury. And the funniest part was like, we were kids, right? And we're like kind of shitty kids. So the maximum you could give anybody was 50 hours, and we gave every kid possible 50 hours.
Of course.
They'd be like, "This kid pet a turtle too hard and it passed out." We'd be like, 50 hours.
Dong,
Like,
bang the
we just
gavel.
gave everybody 50 hours.
Who was
Holy
the
shit.
who was the judge? Was
A
it
real
also-
adult judge, like a guy who was like, he must have been the worst judge
I was
in
about to
Sarasota
say,
County.
he was a judge. He was doing community service.
Yes.
He got in trouble. And they were like, "You got to do teen court."
Here's
Your
the real
honor.
here's the real beauty of my hometown, Sarasota. We found a loophole. You could every 10 canned goods you gave was 5 hours of community service.
Oh, so you had to go steal a bunch of candy?
So
yeah,
you had to
go
buy-
and heist a bunch of beans.
I mean, how much is a can? Like a can of beans, like what, 84 cents?
Still
back in, yeah.
pretty cheap.
So I was like, yeah, I have $89. So I never did any. It was the worst system ever. But I did have to go to like AA for kids, and it was like, which was again funny because I was sober. I was just stealing Mortal Kombat. And I go to AA and
Teen AA.
I meet like a 17-year-old who's like fully like, "Yeah, I'm shooting heroin," and I was like, "All right, dude, like I
Me
shouldn't."
and you are the same.
I shouldn't meet him. And then, that was my one interaction with the justice system. And I was like, I feel like this is I thought everyone was going to teen court.
Yeah.
And then I was telling people about it, and they were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Libby, you
You
seem
were
like
scared straight, man.
Yeah. Hey man,
No,
it works.
but he's scared gay.
Yeah. I mean, well, also, Sarasota County is like a beach town. Like, there was nothing. There were no scary kids. There were no. It was just like, yeah, you stole Mortal Kombat, quit being a fat teenager. Like, there was no
You
real.
simply must.
Yeah.
Which system was it on?
Which system? Xbox. I was an Xbox guy.
Damn,
Yeah.
I'm old.
Did you
Why?
get? Yeah.
What did you
it
steal?
wasn't an Atari.
Yeah.
I played it on
You stole Pong?
probably GameCube.
GameCube's great. Yeah, that's that generation. Xbox and GameCube are the
I
same.
played GameCube. That's what we had growing up in my Mimi's house.
Did your uncle steal it?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
It was hot.
We played SSX Tricky.
Oh, that was a good game.
That's
That
a
was my
game.
shit.
The
Yeah.
snowboard jam.
Yeah, dude. That was my shit.
Never got into
We had
that.
that and Spyro. Those are the only two games we had.
Oh man, Spyro was great. Spyro has some depictions of people where you go, as I get older, There's a character named Mr. Moneybags, and you go, that's fucking crazy. There's some characters
who that
as
guy
you get
is.
older where you go, hey, Spyro, that voice and that voice and that stereotype, I can do that.
He brought that up before. He's convinced that Squidward on SpongeBob was anti-Jewish propaganda.
Hey,
Really?
I am, but for the record, I didn't say it.
Yeah.
I said he's clearly someone.
He goes, he's someone. Squidwardberg. Did you ever have any run-ins with the law, Libby?
No.
Yeah, it's just
Ever?
a sweet honey girl.
Just an angel.
I feel like teen court in St. Louis would be so scary.
Yeah, that's just called
Oh.
regular court. Yeah, that's
Teen
just
court here today to do a manslaughter charge.
I'm trying to think if I
got your
ever
beans?
stole anything from a store. I never stole anything from a store. I did steal $10 from Baskin-Robbins when I worked there. Did I talk about that last time?
No, I don't think so.
Stealing from a place you work is okay, I
The
think.
girls taught me how to ring up and ring it up so that I could keep the money.
You get an extra scoop or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I know those plays.
So I kept the $10, and then at school started having what I didn't know at the time was a panic attack about it.
Ah, yeah.
And
What'd you think it was?
I thought I was going crazy.
But you just felt like
Yeah.
morally really bad.
Because that stuff wasn't, like, panic attacks weren't a thing when I was in
no.
high school.
No.
Nobody, like, I thought I was insane. And I was crying in class, and my Spanish teacher, I told her what happened, and she drove me to Baskin-Robbins while it was school time. Again,
Crazy.
that's against the law.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah,
Can't
absolutely.
drive
You
students anywhere.
No. Come on, hop shotgun. Let's go
Yeah.
get some ice
Was
cream,
it
you
a,
little
was it a
criminal.
female teacher or a male
Yes,
teacher?
female.
Okay. They just take you for ice cream.
She took me to return the money. I told the boss what I did, and then because I was a snitch, I snitched everybody out. I didn't get in trouble. The other girls did.
Oh, so then you felt double bad.
Sorry, girls, if you're out there.
Dude, there's just some girl who got fired from Baskin-Robbins at 16 that hates
Never
me.
recovered.
Yeah.
Who's like her mortal enemy.
But
Yeah.
that's the age where I think you're supposed to
That'd
get
be
fired from
crazy.
jobs. Do you know what I mean? When you're 16, if you don't get fired, I'm kind of like, wow, that was like luck. Because if you're 16, you're like very fireable because you're a moron.
Yeah, you're terrible
You're
at
a
your job.
Yeah, you're a complete moron. I tried to work at Cold Stone Creamery, and then I realized they were serious about the singing thing, and I was like, oh no, I was.
Wait,
I
you
thought
were
you guys
singing
would
Cold
ease up.
Stone?
Yeah, it's
When
the
people
best.
tip, you have to sing them a song.
Cold
Tip, tip.
Stone.
Hooray.
It's the
Yeah.
Cold Stone.
Kyler
Bam,
in a
bam,
Cold
creamy
Stone is
in
my
it.
biggest fear. I could just see him
Brother,
tormenting
I
those
walked
people.
into Cold Stone with ones. I'd fucking.
He pulls out a Ziploc bag with
Yeah.
hot dogs in it. He's like, could you chop this up in that ice cream? I got my own little recipe I'm working on.
I've never been to Cold Stone.
BYOT.
Oh, that was the
Really?
date spot. When I was like in high school, that was where you'd go on a date. You'd be like, yeah, you want to get ice cream?
Deadass.
Do you
And
know
then
what it
what?
is?
And then you'd be like, you want to get fingered? Like, that was sort of the arc of a date.
What
in
do you
high
think?
school.
I got Snickers bar all
I
over
got
my
sticky
finger.
fingers already.
Yeah, dude.
My sticky stinks up some more.
I
That
had
was
a
the whole
bunch
day.
of run-ins with the law.
Mm.
With the law, I told
Sad.
this story recently. Yeah, I was wrong place, wrong time, wrong behavior a lot. From like
Wrong
18.
behavior.
Yeah, 18 to like 23. I just every year got into trouble. I've completed hundreds of hours of community.
Did you not have any
service for this
beans?
Great
Oh my
nation.
God.
Hundreds of hours. But my Uncle Frank, who was an attorney down in Lexington, and my mom's brother, I would get in trouble. I'd call him. I'd go down to his office. I'd give him a $1 bill, and then that enacted lawyer-client confidentiality.
Yeah.
So
Smart.
he never got to tell my parents. He would never tell my parents, dude. I did so much community service, man.
What are you getting arrested for?
Minor in possession of alcohol,
Being
weed
cool.
paraphernalia.
Being
I got
cool.
caught peeing someplace.
All of
shouldn't have
these are
been.
being
Bro,
cool
they
so
tried to
far.
hit me with like public indecency. Like they tried to throw the book at
Yeah.
me. I got caught with a fake ID.
Wow.
Yeah, all sorts of.
Do you
bad
remember
stuff.
Did you have a fake ID?
Me?
Yeah. She's just looking at me on a
No
podcast.
way.
Is he talking to me?
Dude,
No
I made.
way.
Were you like a good kid?
Extreme.
Oh, I would have.
She
I
still
w-
is a good little kid.
I don't know. I could have seen you being either way.
No, and it was the OCD we talked about. It's not because I wanted to be good. It's because my OCD wouldn't let me
You had
Yeah.
to be good.
do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in the Army, My parents made me
Didn't
go to,
know
What?
that is.
My
Yeah.
parents made
I
me
had
go
no
to church
idea.
while I was in the army, and I did because I couldn't lie.
They made you do stuff while you're in the army?
I was a grown woman.
You were enlisted in the United
Yeah.
States Army?
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Have you been? Did you go to? Were you deployed?
Nope.
Okay.
Thank God.
If you had been deployed and never brought it up, that would have been the wildest turn in this. Oh yeah, I was there when Saddam fell. Like that
She
would have
lifts
been
up
crazy.
her shirt and she's just got like self-inflicted scars. She's like, "You want to know? That many."
My OCD wouldn't let me.
Libby.
I could have never killed anybody, so I was a terrible soldier.
Yeah, you don't have. That's like 10% of them. I read something that's like 9 out of 10 soldiers are like administrative.
Yeah, somebody's got to make the meatloaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
And
doubt.
like,
I
with
was a
files
heavy
and stuff.
wheel vehicle mechanic, a '63 Sierra.
No,
Let's
what's
go,
that? What's a
sister.
63 Sierra?
Heavy wheel vehicle mechanic.
Yeah, that's it. I don't get it.
A heavy-
but I mean,
Just a truck mechanic was my job.
Heavy
shit.
wheel mechanic sounds like a guy describing the job he doesn't understand.
yeah.
Well,
Heavy wheel cars I fix is what that's me.
It was the big, like the Humvees and
Yeah.
those things, the Humvees.
Dude, talking about fake IDs, I had a little side hustle in high school where I made them.
Really?
Oh, Jesus.
I made fake IDs for people in high school on Microsoft Paint.
Dang, I sent a money order to China. And then
To get them the
have
fake
you
one?
heard this one?
Oh, bro, that
Everybody was
all
doing
the
this.
rage
You
in
would-
like 06,
You would
07.
send a money order to China, and I'm not kidding you. They would send you a teddy bear, and then you had to cut its head off.
And
inside
inside
were 2 fake IDs.
But why'd you have to cut the head off?
Just
couldn't
'cause
you
it's
just
hot.
sort of open
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah,
No,
you
this
could- she's
bear,
right.
the way the bear looked at you, you were like, I'm cutting its head off.
Then you got to shoot its head
Yeah.
off with a gun.
I remember I got 2, and
Damn.
a guy took my fake ID at Fort Myers. I went to a bar, and I think someone told him like a child is coming, because I gave him my ID and he just went nope, and then I just went well, and he went well, I can either call the cops or I can just take your ID, and I went all right, and then I left.
Chalk this up for a loss, dude. I still remember all my ID like information because you went down to the Shell
You
station.
had to, yeah.
You went down to the Shell station down by my house after 1 o'clock in the morning, and you wait in the parking lot until no one else is in the store besides the cashier, and then you walk in and you put a $20 bill down and you said, "Can I take a look at your IDs?" Because people leave their IDs there and everything. So I went and got Derek Pedley. Shout out Derek Pedley. Born
That's a tough name.
7/16/1982, bro. It said I was like 35 at the
Yeah.
time, and I would do these huge, elaborate. Like I went to a thrift store and found a fraternity shirt, ATO,
Wow.
and I'd wear that, and I'd put that on, and I'd go into my dad's room and find one of his rings and put on like a fake wedding ring,
Yeah.
and go into the CVS and just
Dang.
have a full life. They thought I was an attorney with 2 kids, and looking back on it, they didn't. They
Attorney
just
in a fraternity
they
t-shirt.
didn't. I just go in there and flirt with the old
Yeah.
ladies. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is from when I was in college 10 years ago."
You did the scene from Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
scene from Dazed and Confused.
100%.
You're
man.
like,
One of
I'll
my
just keep
favorite
working for the
films.
city.
Yeah, I know.
All this just to get some beer, huh?
We
Not
had a
even
kid-
some beer. Here's another thing that it should have set off every alarm. Is I'd go in there, I'd get 3 30 bracks of Keystone Light, a bottle of vanilla Smirnoff, a bottle of Hypnotic, a bottle of Hennessy,
Nice.
Yeah.
2 bottles of Kentucky Gentleman, just like $200 worth of beer and liquor, and then pay in like 5s and 1s.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I got to get this all back to my kids.
We had a
Take care. I got to go back to my fraternity brothers.
It's crazy.
we used to Hey Mister. Did you ever Hey Mister?
Oh, yeah.
We did it at CVS once. You know, you like wait for a homeless guy to walk up and you go, "Hey, you want to buy us some beer? You can keep like $4 or whatever." And one time this guy does it. We sold
What
it
guy
better than
is
that.
like, oh, $4 profit? Yeah. I'm
Hey, a
Homeless.
guy who's down on his luck.
Keyword.
That's how we picked him.
Yeah, dude.
We didn't go up to like, prominent attorney. Hey, you look successful. You want to meet some kids?
Some
Uh,
businessman.
but
What if I could tell you you could make $5?
dude, this
today?
one guy, this one guy was homeless, and then we soon found out like this was like yeah, this checks out because we pull up in a Corolla. We go, hey, we buy some beer. He comes out, looks around like he's on fire, and then gets in a van with the mom and her child with the beer, and she's like, ah, and like hitting him with like a rolled up newspaper or something. And he gets out of the car and he goes, And then he sees us and he goes, "You guys moved!" We go,
Oh my God.
We're
we
standing
pranked
here,
you.
bro.
And then got another car and waited for you. Like, in what world did we do this?
Crushing.
And then I remember he got in the car, and we were all kind of freaked out. We were like, "Did she call the cops?" Whatever. This almost guy gets in our car, and he just gets in the car. He doesn't hand us the beer, and he goes, "All right, where are we going?" We were like, "No, dude, we're not.
We're not friends.
We literally drove to a park and had one beer with him, and then we're like, "Oh man, all our moms are calling. We have to go right now." But yeah, that was my favorite Hey Mister story. We
Hey,
had a kid.
Mister.
So my tactic was there was a Mexican market by our house, and when we were kids, 16, 17, we're driving, and we would sit out there and wait for the amigos to come out with cases of Corona, and we'd be like, "Hey, give us a couple." And they'd be like, "Nah," I'm like, "Come on." And he'd give us like 4, and then the next guy would give us 4. And after doing that to a couple people,
You got yourself a
we'd
wrap.
have like 10, 12 beers. You know, it'd be plenty. We'd go home and fucking, that was our tactic.
That's a way better
That's the
system.
first beer I ever drank was a Corona.
That's all we had. That's all we
Yeah.
could get was Coronas and Modelo's, brother.
Bunch
We-
of alcoholics.
Did
my
you
God.
not? You weren't
Kinda.
partying in high school? You were too busy getting ready for the army? I know nothing about you is what I've realized now.
I just couldn't.
You were just like the very, like, I'm going to be in trouble?
Yes.
Forever?
That
Couldn't do
OCD
anything
shit's
fun.
real.
Never skipped
Huh? Yeah.
school, not one time. Even on the day where it was like, oh, it's senior
Everyone's
skip day,
skipping.
I was like, are you sure this is okay?
I'll say that I didn't mess around much in school. Like senior skip day, I was
Yeah.
the only
I
kid
told you my
in
senior
my
thing.
class.
I missed 110 days my senior
Holy
year. There's
shit.
only 180.
I got arrested in school for truancy.
Oh man, they were like, we finally got
They
him.
arrested. Well, and what's crazy about it, I didn't miss a bunch of days. I think it was like 30 days, and most of the days were doctor's appointments. But I just never turned in my notes. But I got in so much trouble in my high school, just like causing havoc, that I was sitting it, and they did it. They knew they were having to do it because they waited until I was in my favorite class, which was my marketing class. And my teacher came up to me and she goes, "Hey, listen, they're going to call you to the office. Anything that's in your backpack, give it to me."
Oh, what a
Whoa.
cool teacher.
He was
Dang.
like, they're pretty much just kind of let me know what was going on. And then they called me to the office, and my school did this thing where they'd call you to the office and they'd say one or two things. They go, "Hello, Mr. Jenkins, can we have Kyler to the office? He will be returning to class." Or they'd say, "He will not be returning to class."
Really?
Yes.
Shit.
And that was, and you never knew what it was. You never knew if we were going home or what was happening. They would just go, "Can you send him?" And he will not be.
They
It was
didn't like cuff you up, did they?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the SRO. I was cool with the SRO because he used to be the SRO at our elementary school, and he was an ex professional
We had
wrestler.
met before.
His name was Southside Soldier. Shout out Officer McNeil.
Yeah.
Huge shout out.
But he
He would powerbomb bad kids.
we were sitting in his office. Kind of gave me the same spiel. He was like, "Hey man, if there's anything in your backpack, like if you give it to me now, it's no problem. But if we find it when we take you to jail, then like it's a huge thing."
You just give him tons of candy.
I didn't have anything with me.
Yeah.
They put me in cuffs. I called my mom. Every time I call my mom in a situation like this, she always thinks I'm fucking with her.
Yeah, about your car wreck.
I called my mom in the school, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to jail. I'm just letting you know. I don't know what happens here, but I'll see you later, I guess. I'm
Yeah.
just going to jail." She was like, "You're not fucking funny. Get off my phone. I'm at work or whatever." And then I was like, "No, I'm serious." She's like, "Well, then let me talk to the officer." And I went, "All right." And he goes, "Hey, Miss Finney." And then all you hear from the other side of the phone is, "Are you fucking?" She starts screaming at him.
Heck yeah, man. That's
Were
what
you
want.
calling her and
You
fucking
could
with
see
her all the
like
time?
the words coming out of the
Yeah.
phone. Oh yeah, I used to fuck with my family all the time.
Okay, that's
Hey,
what,
I've
yeah,
always-
that's what-
You're the little boy who cried wolf.
It's always
Yeah.
been a bit for me. Everything's a bit. Okay, nothing serious. But yeah, and we got in the police car. He had a shotgun back there for whatever fucking reason. And then he's playing like Christian music. He's like, "Now, Kyler, I know I've known you for a long time, but do you know Jesus Christ?"
Oh man.
And I was like, "Hey man, just take me to jail.
As a child.
Let's
Yeah.
get this over with."
Dude,
me
I'll
to jail.
find Jesus behind bars, brother.
You just-
Just take me to the clink.
Just give me a cigarette.
I got called down to my this kind of ties in the things that I've been talking about today. The day before prom, I had a trunk full of hundreds of dollars. I bought alcohol for everybody, and it was in my trunk of my car in the parking lot, and I got called down to the principal's office, and I thought you know, you don't know shit as a kid. I thought that they had like beer sniffing dogs or something. You know? Whipped cream Burnett sniffing dogs. And I got called down to the principal's office, and I walked down because I was a good kid. I didn't get in a lot of trouble at school. You could call me an Eddie Haskell.
You got
know?
arrested a few times.
I was a little brown nose.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
At post high school, the wheels fell off.
Yeah.
But in high school, I was, you know, a sweet little boy. And I remember walking to the principal's office, and then I walked by this door, and I was just looking out the side, and I was like, man, everything's going to be different now. I'm going to get in so much trouble. I really considered like running to my car and driving off and just putting off getting in trouble for a couple hours. And then I was like, nope, you got to take it like a man. And I walked down and I walked into my principal's office. Shout out Mr. Mukes. And I walk in profusely apologizing. And he was like, whoa. What are you talking about? I wasn't getting in trouble. He was bringing me down to like, he wanted me to bring some prom tickets to some other kid in another classroom. And I walk in, I was like, Mr. Mukes, I'm so sorry, man.
I didn't mean to.
You know, it's nothing too serious. And yeah, so I fully got away with it, dude. She fell.
She fell in the river.
It wasn't my fault.
It's not my
man.
fault.
It's so weird thinking
Damn.
about being a kid at school. Because we used to be in education.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're on the other side of it. And as a kid, you like hold your teachers up on this pedestal. In most cases, not Kyler.
Not me.
But it's like, you know, I respected and still do my elders. So you go to school, you don't want to make a teacher mad, and you think that they've really got their shit together.
Oh,
and then you become a teacher.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wait. All these people are just trying to keep it between the lines.
It's the most
what's
brutal
going on.
gig. I mean, you guys have done it, but to me, what it feels like being like, you're like at best like a speed bump for these kids, where you're like, hey, you got some issues, and I really can't help with 9/10 of them.
Yeah, you're not.
But I can be nice to you for
You're
an hour.
not like changing the trajectory of large groups of
Yeah.
kids. You might have one or two.
Yeah, but you can't. I
a
mean, it's
year.
the expectation that you can be like, if this teacher's good enough, all these kids, everything in their life is fixed. It's like, that's not fair to the It's crazy.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
That seems brutal.
Do you have any kids who like try to hit you up, like on any of the social medias or anything?
A couple of kids have. Oh, Miss Libbie, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Just cute.
I really liked that video where you talked about your
pussy.
Yeah,
for
that's
20 minutes.
I think that's what's like tripping me up is I know you through comedy, and when you get on stage, you say, I mean, comedy is like you're sort of by definition willing to say shit that regular people are not willing to say. So I'm trying to picture you being like nervous about what other people think or like this. I guess I just assumed everyone as a comedian was like a bad rebellious kid because that was like what I was doing. But then I realized like, nah, you could get into this any number of ways. So you were like totally straight and narrow, worried about being in trouble. Then you're in the Army. Then you're a teacher. When do you start doing this?
I started comedy at 40.
Dang.
Wow.
That's some different shit right
So
there.
20 years ago.
Kyler, how dare you son of a bitch.
Done for the day.
I mean, I realized that she did take out a bunch of Werthers from her pocket earlier.
Have you had a Werther's?
Yeah.
They're fucking
Hit
good.
me, girl.
They
Hit
gave
me,
to us in
shit.
Vietnam.
I
That's
love
what I got
a
into.
Werther, dude.
Anything that I did online while I was teaching, I did in character.
Okay.
So everything
How
I did.
long was the overlap? Like, how long were you teaching and doing your comedy thing?
Oh man, a long time because I started doing online stuff in. When did YouTube start? 2009.
About that.
So it was about that time.
Really?
Because I was
Been
doing
in the game, sister.
I was doing JTV, which was what Twitch is now. It used to be
like
a
stream
broadcasting site where you
All
go
right.
on and I'd do like shows
Yeah.
in character. So let's see. I quit in 21.
Wow.
Quit teaching.
Quit teaching in 21.
Wow,
Wow,
so
long
you were
time.
doing, but I guess what I like, were you before you were doing shows and doing stuff online? Were you like when you're in high school? Are you like, I know I'm funny, I know I want to have a creative outlet, or did that come way later?
I wanted to do theater, but I was too scared because you know how I have stage fright now.
Yes,
So imagine it
back
1,000
then.
times worse. I did props and I did makeup in theater because I wanted to be on stage.
Yeah,
And I just couldn't do it.
No, my parents sent me to my parents were always trying to send me to like some crazy camp in like 3rd and 4th grade, and they sent us to an acting camp, and I cried and left.
It's scary.
I was like, these people are judging me, and they were like, dude, you're 8. Like no
Nobody
one is being like, that guy's gay. Like that's not happening.
I could have used a little bit of what you had because I just had unabashed belief.
Yeah, well, you were an athlete.
I was an athlete.
That's the whole different thing.
I was an athlete. That is a way different thing. It's like it is a stage of sorts, and there's stakes and everything.
Things have gone well for you.
But I had a real, high school musical moment. Yeah. I was like a young.
I don't know if I know what that means.
Thespian, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was in chorus, and I think I've talked about this before. I took choreographed hip hop dance.
Dude.
For like 5 years of my life.
That's
I was a little
so
dancer,
crazy.
bro. I played like the xylophone and would sing, and I was in all the school plays, and I loved it. Like, I was a big dancer. Like, that was my jam. I loved dancing. And like my elementary school had a creative movement. It was a hip-hop dance class.
Are there
Yeah.
videotapes of this?
Yeah, I'll get a VHS. That'll be on the Patreon one
A
day.
VHS
Yeah.
is crazy.
Oh yeah,
A
we'll have to
VHS
convert it
of
to a
Lee.
DVD.
Hey man, I'm not touching those tapes.
But
All right, I'm not
was-
doing anything with creative movement tapes from elementary school. Yeah. That's all you guys, man. I
But-
want nothing to do with this.
By the way, this Werther's the best thing I've ever had in my mouth. We can't
Yeah.
all have them in at the same time
You
because
guys
it
are
would be an
talking
ASMR
shit.
nightmare.
What are they
But
like?
God,
honey
they're good.
butterscotch things?
Caramel. I think.
Caramel? Okay, yeah.
Oh, they're so fucking good.
But my high school
really
musical
are.
moment, they're incredible.
Yeah.
I'm like stumbling over my words. My spit tastes so good.
Let me
But-
get some
I was
The spit.
of this spit. Yeah.
elementary school.
Spit in my mouth. Lee.
No.
God, I love when somebody spits in my mouth.
Yeah, you two, you're the spitters
It's
down
such
there.
a weird thing.
It's gotta be on purpose.
Dead ass.
If I'm on an airplane or something, I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Something hot about it. Something
Yeah.
hot about getting a little spit, doing a little spit. Something hot about a little slap here and there.
Well,
in the
I'm a
face.
big I love a good passionate kiss.
Yeah.
So that is kind of, it's called swap and spit or whatever.
Not the way
but
I
then
do
the
it.
actual thing
Bone
of
dry.
like baby birding,
I wipe out my mouth and I go, come give me a kiss.
whatever the opposite of putting chapstick on. Yeah, Connor before he kisses.
Sandpapers his lips.
And then
Fully
a lot
demoisturizes.
of people will kiss and say like, love you. I go, clean yourself up. That's what I yell after we kiss. I always yell that. But love is love or whatever.
So I was the hot shit dance captain, literally captain of the dance team in elementary.
Were there black kids at your elementary school?
Oh, yeah.
And you still were captain of
About
hip hop dance.
50-50, yeah.
That wouldn't happen today. that
Probably
would
not.
happen.
Probably not,
They go,
but-
Lee's the captain.
I was like the dance captain, and it was really cool to be in it was called the performance troupe, and we would like tour around the state in a school bus and go and perform for
Wow, this
other
is
schools
big
and stuff.
time.
Oh, it was truly. It made me fall in love with the life on the road, baby.
Yeah.
But I was hot shit dance man in elementary school, and then the last day
Dang.
of school, you walk across the street to the middle school, and you get a little tour from the outgoing 8th graders.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm walking around. I'm a big cool guy. And then at the end of it, they were like, "Does anyone have any questions?" And I was like, "Yeah, winter dance team tryout."
Oh no.
Dude, they did everything short of
Yeah.
just fully hate criming me. They were like, "What are you?" I mean, this was what?
Not
Oh,
90s Kentucky?
Yeah, 1999.
Yeah.
So people were like, "Dude, that is gay.
Yeah.
You can't. Girls are on the dance team." And then it was this moment in my life where, like, I mean, people were really.
Yeah.
It was a huge paradigm shift. I was like, "Oh wait,
Maybe
oh
I should.
no!" And then literally from like 9 years old until 20 years old, I was just like, bench press.
Oh yeah.
I gotta play sports. Baseball's the only thing that matters. No, I don't. I'm not a dancer.
That's probably why you're such a like social butterfly though.
Oh,
100%.
100%.
Dance and then you're an athlete and then I've seen photos of young Lee. I think what you're like, if you're like crushing it elementary middle school, you're like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I be socially open? What not? But if you're like bombing all of,
Oh, 100%.
elementary middle school, you start going, I don't like interacting with people. It doesn't always go well.
That's
I think
why
that
that's why I don't gamble.
Holy
That's
fuck.
why I
Yeah.
don't gamble right now because I used up all my luck when I was born.
when we won the hip hop dance championship.
Yeah, I know it's. I'm not trying to sound ugly, but like you said, it's true. Like,
Thinking about you though, like revving up to ask that question. And
Yeah.
you'd be like, hey, watch this.
Oh, like for real, it was like that.
Yeah.
When we do the fucking dance audition.
They're like, hey, we don't queer.
Yeah.
Get
I mean,
outta
that's
here.
basically what was said to me.
Yeah. They shoved you in a locker and they go, we'll see you in the fall.
Dead
So
ass, dude.
I was on the step team in my school.
There we go.
I was a part of the step
What's
team.
stepping?
It's where you like.
Kyler went to the school from Drumline, as far as we can tell.
We had a
That's sick that you were on the step team.
our principal, Mr. Holman. He started a club called the Gentlemen's Club.
Dude.
Which now that I'm an adult, I'm like, that's a horrible
Literally
name
the name
of
of a strip club.
Yeah, totally. But it was called the Gentlemen's Club. And we would go and he'd teach us how to tie a tie, and he'd teach us, manners or whatever. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, those stuck.
It's just a bunch of
Teach us how to suck each other off.
it was just like a bunch of male teachers.
How to wear a
who were
monkey shirt and burp into a microphone.
But yeah, and then through that, the step team was formed, and we would perform at like the pep rallies. We'd all go there.
Of course,
I was the
bro.
only white guy on the step team.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I mean, that bitch going crazy.
I love
The Tate's Creek High School where I went to, we had like a nationally ranked step team.
That's so sick.
love my Tate's Creek.
Dude, I think my county
Yeah, the whole thing,
awesome.
man.
Yeah,
Dude,
I-
it rocked.
I was
think-
also the mascot.
Believe that.
if
What
you
was
had
the
had a step
mascot?
team in my
Red
county,
Hawk.
they would have shut it down.
Yeah.
The county would have stepped in and gone, kids can't be doing this. I mean, this is just so foreign to me, the idea that would happen.
There
Did
was
you
a
guys ever have trash cans and hit them with?
like
Like
drumsticks.
stomp. Like
Yeah.
stomp
I
the
did
yard.
I did a full choreographed dance with basketballs. You remember Stomp?
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
talking
what we would do.
about.
Yeah, I still kind of remember it. You would be like, boom, dribble, boom, bop, boom, bop, bop, bop. I could probably still
Yeah,
rip
dude.
it off
Damn,
right
I
now.
feel left out. We weren't doing
You don't know what
any of this
stomp
shit.
is?
No, I do. When that movie came out, I remember being like, this has nothing to do with high school.
It was like a class at my school.
Yeah.
What about what's your take on this? Is this crazy, or are you like, oh yeah, we
I
had
mean,
Stomp the Yard?
I feel like I went to a pretty progressive high school, and we didn't have that offered.
Yeah.
But also, this was in the 90s. Like,
This just reminded me talking about the Gentlemen's Club. There was this group.
That's so funny.
There was this group, this student-run group that they tried to start up at my high school my sophomore year. It was called Gods.
Mm-hmm.
Gods, and it stood for Gentlemen of the South.
Holy
And
shit.
we'd like get together and be like, God.
They're
we're
producing
so
a comedy
cool."
show right now.
Yeah, the Gods, dude. Gentlemen of the South, son.
so you thought you were cool. See, I never thought I was cool.
Me
That
neither.
is-
There we go.
That's an interesting.
neither.
Yeah, that kind of is it. Like that's why I got so lucky. There was no smoke blown up my ass, but it was like
At school.
at school. I don't know. They didn't. No one sat me down and they were like, "You're so great. You're such a good boy. You're so cool." But
Lot
it
of
was
game.
there was like a lot of positive affirmations. Like I have always kind of liked myself.
Yeah.
And it's so
Wow,
weird to
so
say that now.
weird to
Saying
live
that in
like that.
2025 is like a horrible indictment. It's like it's so cool to be like, oh no, I was actually like so poor and depressed and
Yeah.
I hated it and it was tough. And it's like it's not. No, I just got really lucky, man.
I didn't.
You know?
I was like, I thought I was cool, but I realize now that I was just not at school. So I'd be like, yeah, I bet kids are thinking how crazy it is I'm skipping school right now.
Yeah,
and then
meanwhile,
you
I was
realize
like, who's that tall kid with
Yeah.
the hair?
they're like,
I
oh,
can't
yeah,
remember his name.
I don't know who that is, and I'd be like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted you to think. Like it was a lot of like,
yeah.
it was a lot of bullshit like
My
that.
plan coming together. No one knows
Dude,
me.
I thought not joining a fraternity in college was going to be in the paper. I
Yes.
thought they were going to be like, he didn't join.
Yeah.
And then you just look back and you go, it took me a long time to realize no one gives a shit about the plans you have in your head that you didn't tell
Nobody
anybody.
cares.
Yeah, dude.
Nobody cares.
Well, especially
no
if
one
you,
cares just in general.
yeah,
I was
Ever.
hated in high school. Hated.
I could see that.
by all. Teachers, students, everyone. They booed me at our practice graduation. When they called.
But here's the thing, Libbie, is that it is sad, but it fueled him and he loved it.
I was gonna say adverse effect, dude. They called my name and everybody was like, boo, and I went
Yeah, he goes up and hits the suck.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, it fueled me, man. I don't know what about it. I never changed throughout my whole life. I've always been the same me. I've always been who I am. And at one point in time, it was like everyone thought it was funny and loved it. And then eventually everyone was like, all right, this guy's not changing. This is getting pretty old.
Yeah.
So they started turning on me.
Oh man,
And then
that is.
then it took like a year outside of high school when everybody's like, all the shit that they thought they were going to do didn't happen, and I'm just lackadaisically doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh my God, man, you're doing so great for yourself. Congratulations!" No. You were a piece of shit. I get to do that all the time.
Fueled by spite, the Kyler Finney story.
Yeah, a little bit.
Def.
Well, that's like I think that's also like an age that you're at that part where you're still connected enough with them to be like, yeah, fuck you. But then you get a little bit older and you go, I don't know anybody from back then.
Yeah,
and then you know what I mean?
sure.
It's like that crazy moment where you're like, I want to still keep track of people from high school and see how things turned out, and then I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck is going on with it.
Well, I still keep track. I have a list of people. I go by their houses once a week.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I check their mail.
Yeah.
I check their mail and sometimes I take their mail and I put my mail in there.
I consider you a good friend who I know pretty well. I don't know if you're lying right now.
Yeah. I think Kyler's a good
you might
friend.
go
I don't think I
drive-
know him at all.
Drive by people's houses in the most distinguishable truck in the whole city. It's got everything minus your face on the side of it.
There's nothing Kyler could do where I'd go, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Like in any direction.
My plan works, brother.
Oh, brother, I'm not.
I love when people can't tell. It's like the best thing in the world, bro. Because then I can tell you the truth, and you think I'm fucking with you, but you don't really know.
It's the ultimate bit, constantly.
Everything is a bit.
It's like Russia. You can't trust anything. You know what I mean? You go, is
I
this
am
propaganda? He is.
You're pretty Russian.
Speaking of, what makes you? What are you?
Oh, God, just the hardest, broadest.
Speaking of Russia, what makes you? It's awesome.
Sorry.
What do you got? What do you
I
got
am
in there?
English, Scottish. Is this what you're asking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't. That's good catch. I was like, I don't know what he's saying.
Genetically.
Yeah.
Because you're
I thought you were just doing a
50%
caveman
Russian,
interview.
50% raccoon.
I'm very English and Scottish.
Nice.
Like a lot.
That's me.
So
English,
much,
Scottish, and Irish.
So much that when I got the
That one's good.
results, I go,
It's the only good
okay,
one.
this is probably why I've been obsessed with England since I was a kid. Like,
Yeah.
It's something in my...
Cheerio,
I think
bud.
that's a lady thing too, though. Ladies seem to love England.
I mean, I would call England. I would call their operator as
I
a
remember
kid.
that. Hello, London. London calling.
Love it. Always have.
What'd
Have you
you? Yeah, did you go?
Oh, I've been, yes.
Is it cool?
It's been quite a while, though.
He went recently, I think.
I
Connor,
did go.
didn't
My
you
whole family's over there, except for like my granddad
What do
had
you mean over there?
over there. My granddad had
In
12 siblings.
Like living there?
Yeah, they all live. So I went over there for my aunt got married at 65, and she was like, "We're getting
He's
married
got
in
like
England."
grandparents who are like talk like this.
Yeah, they're all.
You're English.
Yeah, but
Yeah, well, they're Irish, and then they moved to England, and they're all in England. But I like, yeah, I mean, they're all over there still. They're all
from
in like
Florida,
Southport.
but their teeth are really fucked up, so they moved
That's true.
to England.
Yeah.
They go, we want to fit in.
And
What
now
part?
Southport, which is like,
Downtown.
yeah. Also, they're having a bunch of
Downton.
like political clashes there right now. So I'm reading the news, being like, oh, that's my family.
And
good
it's
stuff.
crazy that you could drive from there to the top in a matter of hours.
It's crazy that England ever like mattered as a country when you think about how small it is. It's like tiny.
I don't
and
think it
it's-
ever did matter.
I mean, it.
On the historical theater,
Kyler just goes, it
Yeah.
didn't matter.
yeah, it kind of did, but I know what you mean.
I mean, you know, they owned
Fuck them. Yeah.
They
to
own-
me, they never fuck those guys.
they owned India till 1950.
Once a year, I'm not going to tell you the date because I don't know what day it is, but I throw tea into a river. Just
Oh,
to-
you talk about the okay.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what day it was, but on the anniversary, I do that every year. I just throw a bunch of tea into a river. That's how much I hate them.
the what's that called? The
Boston
Boston
Tea
Tea
Party?
Mass. Yeah,
Yeah.
They
yeah.
got so,
Boston Tea Massacre.
Yeah, I confused
yeah,
them.
dude. They got so fucking mad they threw the tea in the ocean.
they
Yeah,
were pissed.
how dumb is that?
That's some petty bullshit.
Well,
Nah,
there was
dude,
there
that's
was
the-
more to
that's
it
what
than
America-
what.
And
Yeah.
then they're like, fuck, what are we going to drink now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or they just turned their lake into tea, which is kind of cool.
Which rules actually?
They're like, hey, we're going to dump 4,000 pounds of tea into this lake, let it get real hot outside, and then we're going to drink the water.
Well, Kyler, this is the Americans are the ones who did that.
Yeah, I know.
And it wasn't. They weren't just like, yeah, fuck tea. It was like a
yeah,
tax
they were
thing.
they were mad about
Yeah,
taxes,
but-
which I'm cool with.
No taxation without.
Representation.
Let's go,
What
dude.
can we do today to make that happen?
No taxation without representation?
Yeah, what can we do?
That's not happening.
It's almost
They'll
impossible.
shoot us all in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're paying taxes.
Listen, Boystorm Nation, if you're listening.
Boystorm.
On March 15th, no one spend a dime. We're gonna shut down the economy.
Yeah, we should. That'd be great.
I wish we could do that.
It won't matter.
Be
Nothing
sick.
matters anymore.
Here we go.
Every time I've
there
seen,
we go.
Yeah, nothing matters.
That's cheerful.
Every time I read the news, I'm like, is this real?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's kind of not.
Well, it also depends. I mean, you can't. When people say I read the news, and you go like, you didn't get all of it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
have
It's
to
like
read three different. I have to read far left, far right,
Yeah.
just to get something in the middle.
just to be like, oh, it seems like maybe this.
Maybe this will happen.
Yeah, and then also you have to like talk to. Maybe you don't have this. I have this. All of my family will call me now, and just it's a game of whatever I say. They just go. They bring it into like I'll go like, yeah, I went outside today and I saw a tree, and they'll go, yeah, a maple tree like Canada, that state we're about to absorb. And I'll go, what the fuck are you doing right now? Leave me alone.
Yeah.
And
called
it's
chain reaction.
never ending. It's just nothing I can. Oh yeah, it's raining. Oh, it's raining in Greenland too. We're about to invade. You go, dude, fuck you. I don't want to talk about that. It's crazy. It's never ending.
The red, white, and green, and what were they going to call it?
Hey, that's it. That's the end of the free episode. If you want to see the rest, go over to Patreon, patreon.com/BoystormPod. And if you liked it, thanks so much for listening. Do us a favor, like and subscribe to the YouTube, share it, leave us a review. All that stuff really helps. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Boystorm Podcast changed my life.
Boy, I love Boystorm.